So, dudes, welcome to another episode of the Dev Talks podcast. I'm your host, DevVv, and today I'm joined by my fantastic co-host, Crimson Wixx. I'm also joined by the Sound Wizard and Captain Marvelous. And today we're going to be talking about audio mixing. The Sound Wizard has been working in audio for, how long have you been working in audio? I'm pretty sure it's been like 7, 8 years.
I want to say professionally 6 years, because when I moved out to the Puget Sound area, that's when I was doing it professionally.
Okay.
I actually could say, yes, I am an audio engineer.
Okay. What about before that? Would you say you were doing it like amateur wise for any years before?
It was about a year after college. Like, there was a bit of stuff in college of being able to mix a couple like tiny shows, doing stuff on Ball State campus, and then working a couple of small gigs, basically load in, load out setup for a small company in Indianapolis, and then moved out here. And so, it was just some little stuff.
Yeah. So, man,
and I played in shows in all ages venues. So that was like the tertiary, like the piece that connected me to the world.
Yeah, I feel that. So Mans has been doing it for a while.
We're really, nice little long career.
Really excited to have
I
him.
started playing cello at the age of 12.
So he has agreed to, do an interview with us. So we're going to do that with the dogs, apparently. Dogs are going crazy.
Yes. We have been gone all day, so they are.
Yeah, we have. And then on top of that, we're also going to be bringing back the Give Less Fuck segment. But first,
now, y'all.
Story time. Today, we went and summited Pike's Peak.
Ooh. By summited, we mean we drove up it.
We drove up there for sure.
Nice.
For sure.
We
Did
cheated.
not hike this 14er.
No.
Even though we probably could have, but like that would be like terrifying, like more terrifying than what we went through today.
Yeah.
And like, to be fair, my legs were weak when we got to the last 3 miles of this, I'd say 18-mile journey from the bottom of the mountain to the top.
I don't think it's 18. Is it 18 miles?
Yeah, it said it was the mile markers at the very top. It got to 18 at the very.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like the switchbacks as you go up.
Yeah.
Switchbacks. And now is it 18 miles like you've gone vertical 18 miles, or the switchbacks have made it so you've driven 18?
Nah. See,
this
this was chill, okay?
Yeah.
This was essentially this wasn't, I feel like this was about 12 to I'd say 14 miles of
I guess you can't
really beautiful forest, a couple switchbacks, but nothing really dangerous. Nothing that was like, oh my God, what are we doing type shit.
Pause for lighting adjustment here. Hold on.
Yeah, that didn't start happening until mile 15. All right, so I'd say Pikes Peak is about 14K in elevation, a little bit more. I think it was like 14,112 was the final elevation. And then I'd say once you got to 11,000 feet, which was about right before mile marker 15, that's when it got dicey. And I noticed because that's when the trees started cutting off.
Yeah.
And like that's
just open.
Just open.
It's just rock. And just straight
and anxiety.
You see it forever.
And you can see forever, which like when you get to the top is so worth it. Like, oh my God, it is amazing. It is amazing. Like if you just completely forget about the ascent and the descent, it was so dope. Like,
that's how most
if you forget about how you get there and how you're getting home.
Exactly. Like I have no qualms at all. Like it was an enjoyable journey.
Except for the middle.
just the middle part.
The world knew
for
something.
For me, I have no fear of heights or like fear of driving on switchbacks or, like I honestly enjoy not dangerous driving, but just like skilled driving, like driving you need skills for. And I've driven in mountains for a very long time. So this one is obviously very, very steep and like the stakes are very high. But it was nothing but enjoyable for me. So I drove us up and drove us down and I had a good time.
It's that healthy level of adrenaline that the road you're on is made to be
Yes.
driven on,
Yes.
but it's still also.
But there's also like this much space between the road and a tumble to your.
Brooke,
death.
you would really enjoy going to Maui and driving the road to Hana.
Oh, I bet.
we
It
did,
is
we did the west side.
It's a
of-
2-lane and partially 1-lane road that goes around a mountain. That's about a 5-hour drive with some of the most amazing
And it
views
goes
that
to
you'll
the top
see
of the
along the
volcano.
way, including
Park.
a white beach sand and a black beach sand.
See,
Hold on.
we rent a Jeep in Maui.
How high is this mountain?
So the mountain so the trail that you go along the outside is a 5-hour drive itself. If you want to go up the mountain
Just help.
it's the highest mountain in the country. Mount Haleakala. Mount Haleakala.
Most of that is submerged, so like we can still traverse this one.
Okay.
We can do this one. My height,
Yeah.
deficiency will.
It was
No, it's more than that then, because Haleakala is the highest peak, like in the entire country, or like one of the largest in the world, because they built a telescope on top of it, a really, really powerful telescope that's like one of the best in the world.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about the elevation. I think it's higher.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
Elevation 10,023 feet.
Oh no, I was right.
Prominence
We do that.
10,023 feet.
Yeah,
do that.
that's 4,000
And
feet lower than
so
where we were today.
You do drive most
do
of
that.
it, but it's like it's a good 4 to 5 hour drive to get to the park that you need to get to see the
On some
mountain.
nice narrow roads that are along just like cliff faces.
And just beautiful ass views all over
depends
the
on the cliff
place.
faces. Also,
There's some rough ones.
when we got up to the top, there was this black family that we made eye contact with. Oh my god, I was so
Yeah.
proud in the moment.
Yeah, it
'Cause
was,
I
it was
like,
very
I
cute.
know when we got up to the top, this is about to be some whitewashed marshmallow, just very aggressive.
It's all the
tomato
clouds.
Yeah, it's all the clouds. So it was-
I feel like
she got lucky. She pulled some Colorado.
I
She
did.
did not check the weather at all and was like, hopefully it's gonna be Colorado weather out here.
It just
today.
doesn't.
Well, here's the thing. It was cloudy yesterday, which means it's sunny today. Like
That's
that's
Because the clouds went by.
Yeah, that's how
Yeah.
that's how
You
it
wait
works
for
in
the next
Colorado.
clouds.
Yeah,
they
if
can't
it's-
hang out for 2 days like around you guys.
They
can't.
cannot.
Nah.
They can't.
Now, if we look at a cloud for 2 days around here, it's like, oh, you're the nope cloud.
Oh, shit. No,
Nah.
get out.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't look at it.
Get out. Nice.
Lock the door.
No, yeah. It was definitely a Colorado day. It was a very strange. Like
Beautiful.
I'm gonna wake up, get out of my bed, get into my car, and summit up the tallest mountain
To be fair, though,
that
she
we
works.
can see.
She
Yeah.
works really hard. So today, I knew she had some play energy because it was an off day. So she had a Friday off work. So I knew, the energy was going to be there. It was also like payday, and she'd been talking about going to Pikes Peak
Yeah.
already. So
We've
it was
been talking
already
about it
there.
for 2 years because
Yeah.
it was literally
Wow.
I decided to move to Colorado on Pikes Peak the first time I went up there.
Aw.
And on our way down, we came down and stopped at like a little side, pull off on the road, and like there was like a perfect little trail, and it led to like this little rock, and it was just surrounded by trees, and then the view from
Yeah.
1,100, 1,200 feet up.
Epic.
And just standing there, I was like, I know this is supposed to be a 7-week or 7-day visit, but I think I'm gonna move here. And that was like the deciding factor when I went up Pikes Peak. And my
The
friend,
very first time.
yeah, my friend was not slick. I know that was her intention, entirely her intention. But it worked. So yeah.
When you know, you know.
Right, exactly.
And today was this isn't the first day of the turning leaves, but like some of the trees have already started to turn,
Yeah.
like some of the patches
Yeah.
have been created. So it was just, a vast amount of green, but there were just spots of yellow. Oh, and it was sunny and
It was-
75 like a country song.
Yeah. Sunny at 75.
Oh,
It was also really nice. It was nice to be at an outing where your anxiety was triggered and mine was fine.
see,
That was a role reversal that we really needed.
See,
in
it
our
was your day
relationship.
off.
Yeah, exactly.
it legitimately
Exactly.
We got up to the, where the, where it just got dicey.
Gift
There was
shop.
no trees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
right at the top.
Just past the well,
There's
there's
kind of
two gift
two.
shops.
Yeah.
So this was like the second good gift shop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like just past that,
Okay.
where like the trees stop growing and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
That's
Where it's
when,
about
you know,
20-minute drive to the top from like
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the midway point.
And I was
Yeah.
paying attention. I was with her
Base
the
camp.
whole ride. And
Yeah.
then at that point, I was like, nope. So I shifted my seat back. I just looked at the clouds until we got to the top.
He's like, I'm
Like,
just gonna focus on
we're
my
just-
breathing. And I'm like, you got this, man. Like
Yep.
you're in there.
We're
I'm
just gonna
I'm
note
in
this all the way to
total
the top
yeah.
of this mountain.
I'm in total control of the car. Like we're
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
And yeah, he
The
swallowed
roads
his
are big enough. Like,
right.
The
So
road
I
is here for a
remember-
reason, you know.
I
There have
remember
been
taking
carriages.
a trolley up. When I went when I was younger, I remember taking a trolley up. I
Yeah.
remember donuts.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I
Both-
remember getting really sick because I was like, really,
Oh!
my head was all like,
Oh!
all over the
Yeah.
place.
You know what? That's another thing. I did not anticipate the loss of oxygen.
Mhm.
or like,
Like, it
how
is-
how deeply it would have because we live
Yeah,
At
where do you live at
altitude.
6'5"?
62.
62? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so going up, you know, at the first,
just a little bit further.
Yeah.
just at that first amount, when we got to like 1100.
To be fair, it is-
11,000, I didn't
Over
realize.
double where we live because it's 14.1 and we live at 6,200. So
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
But
It's
still,
over 9,000.
it's over 9,000.
No.
But
But we got to 11,000 and started realizing, you know, the oxygen was getting cut short. We got up to the top and just there was just a constant battle that you were fighting. I don't care who or what shape you're in.
no,
when
you
get
can't
to
you
the
can't
top of that,
outshape less
nah,
oxygen.
Nah,
Yeah, like 60% less oxygen.
nah. And there was a
Oxygen
dude.
deprivation can really hurt you.
Right.
Yeah, there was a dude that actually he had trouble.
Yeah, he passed out.
nearly passed out. I
No,
don't know if
he was out. His,
yeah, and
yeah.
his family needed some emergency assistance on the quick.
Medical attention.
Yeah.
Oxygen mask.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Which I'm
was.
sure they have a bunch of those up there.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
for
I would
it
hope.
was-
I would hope.
Yeah, it was
Right.
interesting because after about
$50 if you need it.
right. Yeah.
Oh, post COVID.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I would definitely, if we bring anybody up there from that lives at sea level, to get one of the cans of oxygen at the gas station before we go, because
Ooh, that's a good idea.
yeah, it
Is that
definitely
from Perrier?
Canned air.
canned air. It's like literally like a little mask with a little can of oxygen, and they're like $5 at the gas station, and it's just like, all right, cool. But no, that was definitely
Mel
something.
Brooks was right.
Yeah,
Always right.
he's always right. But no, yeah, it was a really cool experience, and like it was a beautifully clear day, and
Yeah.
I'm really glad you faced your fears, and we had a good time.
Yeah. Good day.
Yeah,
Pretty epic. Then we had Cheba Hut after first
We
time
did
we've
have
ever
Cheba
had
Hut
that
for the
stuff.
first time.
I don't even
It
know
was-
what that is, but it sounds awesome.
It is.
Yeah, it's like a stoner Subway, but way
Ah.
better. Oh my god!
There was- So Pike's Peak and
Some
Garden of
ways
the
I
Gods.
would work.
Yeah,
Make, like the best stoner sandwiches.
yeah.
Oh my god!
It was. They were. I had a sticky icky, which was a peanut
A
butter,
peanut butter?
honey, and strawberry
Yeah.
jelly sandwich that was toasted,
Mwah.
and it was
Yeah.
delicious. They
I
had
made a
Kool-Aid.
fried PB&J for lunch. We were on the same wavelength.
Ooh,
Again,
I
all the
see
time.
you.
They
I
had-
see you.
They had Kool-Aid, like
Oh my god, they did that Kool-Aid.
like
my
3
God.
flavors of Kool-Aid, like
Oh.
and like tea, just like bubblers.
First
Like,
time,
it
it was
was
the first time
bubbler
I
of
had
Kool-Aid.
yeah,
in like over 10 years.
yeah.
Guaranteed over 10 years.
There was a giant mural of the pantheon of Greek goddesses, all just like ripping bongs and like hitting joints, and like yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was a very fun place.
Yeah, pretty cool. They
Yeah.
definitely earned our repeated,
Oh,
business.
maybe that's part of. So I drove up and I drove down, and we spent probably 45 minutes to an hour at the top.
yeah.
What do you think?
So you put out a lot of energy.
Yeah,
going
and
up
I-
and driving down.
My body was shutting down as we were trying to like get to somewhere to eat,
yeah,
and I think that's
Just-
probably part of it too.
yeah. Her body likes
Yeah.
to see me going through anxiety. Forget about her anxiety, which is crazy because the amount of anxiety that she has is kind of wild, and she just dumps all of it. And it's just like, no, I'm helping you. I want to make sure you're good. It doesn't matter for how long. It doesn't matter for the duration or.
Well, you shove it in your back pocket.
Right. Yeah.
It
doesn't go anywhere. It's
Right.
just like in a pocket.
Yeah. Or it doesn't matter like how intense, the situation is. I would say that was an intense situation.
It was, yeah.
She was like, nope, I'm gonna focus on you. And then her body started to, shut down.
Yeah.
Like basically at the I'd say before that. I'd say like 5 miles from the bottom. And then once we got to the 2 mile mark, she was like, "Oh no, you need to find food. You need to find a gas station. Like you need to
drive through." I was like,
right now,
sustenance.
Right,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, because the adrenaline dump was, gone. We were, done with the mountain, and the exhaustion was starting to kick in, and
yeah.
But
I forgot about altitude sickness being a thing, and like,
man, that was real.
Yeah, how
That was
sensitive
real.
my stupid meat sack is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So today for this episode, lately I've been in school. I'd say I've been in school for about 7-8 months now.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to be getting my BFA in audio production in 2024, early 2024. So I thought it'd be
2024. What's up?
Yeah. I thought it'd be a really cool idea to have a buddy just kind of talk about his profession, because he's going through a pretty good slew of success, and like I kind of want to throw some flowers to homie. So Swizzard, I'm just going to be asking you a couple questions about your profession. Feel free
Asking
to
all them questions.
Asking all them questions, make the statements.
Assuming. Every time.
Let's start off with a good one, because I think let's start off with a bad one.
Pretty good.
Always start off with a bad question.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go but up.
Why do you suck? I'm just kidding.
I mean, because everybody sucks.
That's true.
Right.
All right, the bad one's out of the way.
Have you ever had a mentor?
I've had many mentors, actually. That's kind of the best. Like, that's a way to work with life and any type of career, is that you just want to learn from people that know what the they're talking about. Like that's part of the thing, is you have to figure out who actually knows what the they're doing, as opposed to just saying they know what the they're doing.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then learning from those people as they are successful, and you try to be close to them as they are successful, and just learn from them, work with them. And that's what I've done for my career. I moved out here, and I attached immediately to a person I met at a company that was a really shitty employer. But the guy I met there, who was the head of sound there, was like 23 and I was 25. So it was that moment of somebody who was doing what I wanted to do at the age that I was.
Yeah.
And the way I look at the universe and all that, it's just like, yeah, we're going to hang out. And for the next 5-6 years now, we've just been working together.
Okay.
Nice.
When we can. And
That's
I've helped him build up a business.
Company,
I helped him build up a business. And I've now moved on from that a little bit and still helping out where I can. But I mean, I had, like I said, multiple mentors. You just learn from everybody that you can. And it's really nice. Also, one of the people that I learned from, I'm actually taking the job that he had many years ago. So,
okay.
Not directly from that mentor, just that.
No, you just
years
he got
ago
another job already.
in transition between the decade or so, that now I'm where they were.
That's what's up.
Heck
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. What do you what's one characteristic of a mentor that you need individually for you? Like one aspect of, something that somebody's had that's appealed to your workflow.
Somebody that can stay relaxed and doesn't have to yell to get shit done.
Okay.
That is solid. That's just
Word.
solid life advice.
That is just solid life
that's
advice.
just solid, like an ability for a successful life. As I knee my microphone.
And learning the best is when people have their together and have planned for what they're doing, because in the world of production, like, you got one shot. And Slim wasn't wrong. Slim wasn't wrong. You only got one shot.
Very rarely.
If it goes wrong, it goes wrong.
Yeah, and you make it work, as Tim Gunn would say. You make it work.
Make it work.
So those are my two inspirational quotes from celebrities.
Gotta make it work.
I feel
But yeah, you just like I said, people. I don't remember what I said. Continue. Next question.
Too many White Claws. Oops.
What is one aspect about being a mixing engineer that's unique to the Pacific Northwest?
I don't know a lot about other places when it comes to mixing and being in that scene, as it were.
Okay.
I know from looking back at some Facebook groups that it seems like a lot of like Indianapolis is a lot of like bar scene and things like that.
Yeah.
Which isn't too bad, but
the thing minuses.
Yeah, the thing I will say that drew me out here was that there's money. Like, there's corporate money out here, like Amazon, Microsoft, Boeing.
Always doing events.
We've got the Seahawks in Seattle. There's a bunch of different just companies that, I mean,
you were
like
just
Expedia,
working training week for the
yeah,
Seahawks.
I got to work the training camp for the Seahawks, which like anybody who has an NFL team in the area, like depending on what audio needs they need. For me, the way I got there was that one of the people I had been working with, the person they knew got like was in contact with the Seahawks and needed a large enough sound system to blast across the field and go like for the players, and then so the fans could still hear it afterwards, but at a like comfortable level that it's not like, oh my god, it's so crazy, like it's a concert. It's more like this is just background music for this entire like training camp right now.
Okay.
And so all I had to do was like we set everything up about a week or so before everything started, go in, put the speakers up, take the bags off, and then go turn everything on and just like let the DJ do their thing and have some wireless microphones. And I'm just like, oh hey, catering. Oh hey, Starbucks. Sweet. It's all free. This is rad.
You enjoyed
that sounds terrible.
It was absolutely horrible.
Awful.
And not only free admission to an event that multiple people pay probably thousands of dollars to enjoy.
Yeah, like
but you got paid to be there.
Yeah. And sports ball.
Sports ball. Eat the pickles. Woo!
I think that is one of the coolest things for me about your job is that there are places that you get to go, people that you get to meet just because you're head audio.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even head audio. I mean, it's just anytime you're working in events. Like I've got to work Microsoft events in the area. Like
you got to meet Bernie.
Yeah, I got to work the Bernie Sanders rally a few years ago and run monitors for him and Portugal the Man and like the other groups that opened up for the event.
Ooh, that Portugal the Man. Anytime you bring that up, I'm like, oh.
And that's where, I mean, it's finding the people that are doing the work in the area you're in.
Yeah.
Like that's all you can do. Or you make it for yourself, which is a lot of money because equipment is a lot of money.
Ooh, and staying up to date, trying to stay at the front lines of, an emerging, business like entertainment, bruh. That's a lot.
Everything's changing.
Well, and luckily with at least the live production world, that depending on the scale you're at, a lot of it has kind of like there's tiers of like how much money you're spending and how big your system's going to be. So like you can put together a system to do like club gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I would say you could get everything for under 10 grand, maybe 15 grand. And which is a lot, but if you like get a small business loan and then do the whole rigmarole of that, and you're actually putting the system out there and you're doing the shows and stuff like that, you can make it back. And you also make sure you charge people enough for it because that's how the real world works. And that like this costs money.
Yeah.
And you're trained. You deserve it. Like that's the point of the training.
Yeah.
Also that.
If someone wanted to apply for your current position, what are 3 characteristics they must have? Non-negotiable. You have to have these.
Going back was don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Like just it's a customer service industry. Like my current position is head audio of a group of theaters. There are 3 theaters in downtown. And so I will be working with not only the staff of the buildings, but the like my direct like the people that I work with directly that manage the stage, the lighting, video, all the other stuff, and then people that are above me. And then so that's like just the internal group of people that I work with. And then after that, it's going to be all the different clients that come in that I've never met before.
Exactly.
Like you have to be ready to meet brand new
A lot of
people.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And just
pretty much every day. Yeah.
and you can either choose to try and like retain as much as you can about people, or just try to have that chill vibe, yo. Like,
Yeah.
I'm here 99% of the time. I'm here for you.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to make it easy, and my job is to let you do you. And
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
the best you can do those kinds of things, and then, so that's like one lump sum thing / two. I'll put that as two.
Yeah, that's
Number-
about two.
Number three,
Two.
know how to use your tools.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your console, your any type of thing you need on your phone, just
Mhm.
how instruments work. Like, you just need to understand what the tools you're working with are. And if you don't know how to use the tools that are at your disposal, you're going to be fucked. You can learn it, and you can definitely do it. Like, you can learn it as you're doing it. I have done that, and many people have. But it's way better to understand your tools before you walk in and try to do something.
Yeah. I feel that. What are 3 positions in the entertainment industry that someone can do with your same skill set?
So you could go on tour.
For
Like, you
sure.
could go be a monitor,
That's like
front of
so
house
many.
engineer. You could, depending on the size of the tour, you could be also like a lead grip or something like that, to where you're helping to make sure everything gets put together correctly, or you're instructing the local crews of what to do.
Nice.
Mhm.
You can stay local. You can work at tiny cafes. You can do, I mean, I like to tell people about my job is that anything with a speaker and a microphone, that's what I do. That's
Yeah.
all it really takes. And honestly, it doesn't even take a microphone. It just takes audio and a speaker. So, like,
Churches, weddings,
Yeah.
bar mitzvahs.
yeah,
if you need sound, you
anything
can
that
make it
has
work.
that requires amplification of audio,
There you go.
Yeah.
just like the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Literally, one of the people I learned from in college used to work for NASA and helped tune the rockets so that they wouldn't vibrate apart.
There you go.
Like, audio, like
Literal
physics,
audio
like,
engineering.
what?
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Literal
nuts.
audio engineering.
Physics, audio engineering.
Yes. Well, because audio is just physics. Like,
Yes.
all it is wiggly air. That's
Wiggle.
why I say I'm a swizzard. I'm a sound wizard. I make air wiggle.
Wiggle.
And it sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is something you started in year 1 of working gigs? Let's go with the professional time. So, like, when you got to Tacoma, that you're continuing to do today.
I mean, the funny one is idiot checks.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, when you're ready to leave, you go back and you do your lap. You go around everything where you set up and where you were working and things like that, and just double check that you got all your shit out of there.
That is
Idiot
a
check.
solid. That is solid. You might
So
want to write
good.
that one down. You might want to get that tattooed.
Yeah.
and honestly, the thing I still do is that is like I'll say to myself, all right, time for the idiot check. All right, found one
Yeah.
right here.
Yep. Right here.
Yep, right here. Found one.
Okay. Yeah.
Can always find one.
Wait.
Only have 2 more questions. The next one, I feel like I know the answer to it, but do you see yourself working audio and video for a long time?
Suspense. Pause. Breath. Yeah, that's the goal. I really don't want to do much else with my life.
Career-wise?
the whole
Yeah.
career-wise. I mean,
I feel
unfortunately, like, my career has become my life for a while. I'm now trying to readjust that balance, where the nice thing about the career is being able to meet different people, go different places. Like, I wasn't just like stuck in a cubicle for the past 6 years. Like, I've been going out and doing adventures. So, while yes, I've not been at home, I've been able to have a life to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, I've done things. It's like I've been working, but I've done things. I've been in a lot of like hotel spaces, and I've been like the Amazon Meeting Center. I've been in places in Microsoft. Like we said, worked at the Seahawks place.
Museums.
I've been working. I worked in museums. I went down to Palm Springs, California, years ago to run the town for Gay Pride. That was there.
Nice.
I thought you'd run in Oregon too.
Yeah, I did some small festivals and stuff in Oregon and other things like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that I've gotten to do. I did the Bernie rally at the Tacoma Dome. We did it.
February of 2020.
February
the
2020.
world was so different.
I did a giant conference at the Tacoma Dome recently, and we're setting up for another one this next coming week. And so, like, I've been able to do things.
Yeah.
Now it's just finding real life. I haven't
Right.
done bike now, so
Considering
cycling is part of my life.
This was an
again.
industry that was hit so hard by the pandemic.
Yeah.
Events,
Uh,
when the shutdown happened, events shut down first.
Yeah.
mhm.
Big gatherings always.
Um,
And the last,
Yeah.
they're the last ones coming back.
Exactly. And so there were a lot of companies that didn't make it. You two struggling to keep a company going, you found whatever you
the
could.
churches were the only reason it stayed together was
Mhm.
because
They
had to do
scrambled to
live
create
stream.
live streams, and you knew how to make live streams, and they went together.
Yeah.
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 I only have-
Ingenuity.
yeah.
Engineering. Haha.
Ingenuity.
Exactly.
Oh, get out. Get off the podcast.
Don't you
Oh,
make fun of my
But you're
shows.
interviewing him.
Ninja.
That was a-
that is
It was
true.
a,
You just
it was
take
a
them off.
formative
Like, get off the
film
podcast, but
series
even though
as
we're
a
in
child.
He is wearing a
Right.
shirt.
Yeah.
No, it's different.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought it was Ninja Turtle.
No, it's the
Oh,
it's
it's
the
I
Three
Three
mean,
Ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ninja
Wrong
Turtles
ninja.
is awesome.
that.
Wrong ninja movie.
Oh my god, out.
And me.
One are mutant turtles, the other are three children with a Japanese grandfather. They are very different stories.
There's still
They're still Ninja 90s
there's
stories.
still Ninja 90 stories.
That's so very
similar.
important to our childhoods.
Right.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Shout out,
Formative.
shout out to anybody that knows both of those movies.
Right. if you know, you have to subscribe if you know both of those. Like
90s kids.
right.
One last question before we move on to the give less fuck segment. What is a piece of equipment you currently wish you had and why?
Honestly, I mean, there's a
Mhm.
program called Smart that is like a $600 program that is used to and having an RTA microphone, which is a special like reference microphone, and being able to have that with a little wireless pack as well, so that I can actually accurately listen to different spaces in the room, and the program will then listen to it and make sure that everything's like time aligned and all the like telling me what frequencies are issues in what spots of the room and things like that. But
Damn.
being able
is-
to have stuff like that.
That does
That's
sound
the-
smart.
Yeah,
I'm
literally. SMAART. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not SMRT, but you know.
Right.
S.M. Marty.
I do have a friend that has it though, so like I have it close by, and that he does that for part of his making money going around different places is also like smarting rooms, so making sure that the systems that people already have in place that
Are
he
working
can take
correct.
readings, and he can do like slight speaker moves and things like that, and do EQ to make sure that it's more it sounds better where you want it to, and that
I
it's
dare
more even
say-
coverage and things like that.
Again, reiterating, if you invest in
That's
the
awesome.
technology itself, then you can make your money back if you are good with it.
Yeah.
True.
That's what it's all about. Is
Good point.
I mean, especially like renting equipment and doing other things like
That's
that.
what my uncle does.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the interview portion of this episode.
And
was-
you can do it too.
and
If you
that.
learn about
And that.
technology and join a union,
There you go.
Find,
Also that.
find,
we are
find
pro
your local
union in this
union.
house.
Yeah.
Find anybody, like
Apartment.
find any clubs that are really doing any audio, and like, again, don't be a dick, but talk up the sound person. Like, talk up the production people. Like, say, hey, I'm really interested in this. Like,
Yeah.
what is there anything that I could do to help out at this place? And if not
Yep.
at this place, they may be able to connect you to the next people, because it's also a networking game of just,
Yeah.
if you know, that's how I got more work, was that I knew what I was doing. So the friend I made was like, hey, let me give you this guy's number, and then this guy, and then that guy, and then this people, and then those people, and then and then joining the union. The union has that network as well of professional level people that are like, hey, we need such and such amount of people, and call goes out. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm available for that.
I'll
I'm
put
gonna
it
go
this
work.
way.
Lay network.
You worked for so many different companies in so many different places
I had
that
14 W2s
Yeah.
the first year. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
2020 before the shutdown. Yeah, you had 14 W-2s.
Something like that. A little less, maybe.
No, I thought it was 14 because we had to do taxes and we had to find them all. And it took a really long time for them all to come in.
Right.
That does sound like that would be. Yep. Yeah.
Before we move on to the Give Less segment, I guess the last thing we want to say is podcast is there's a lot of turnover and opportunity in the audio video world of doing things. So
in any world, everything I've said today, like Rookie Sparks was saying, Miss Crimson Wixx, was that, I mean, it just applies to all industry and even in all of life. Like, if you find the thing that you enjoy that you do and you want to provide that service to people, like that's what I do. I like making sure that things sound good.
Right.
And that events go well from at least like the part that I can do.
Right.
And that's how I enjoy being able to spend my time at work and not being like, I fucking hate my job. This sucks. Like trying to find the right thing to do
around.
Exactly. Yeah.
So moving on to the Give Less segment, for you in the episode.
Segue.
This segment is it's one of my favorite segments. I basically read
an
something
OG
from
too.
pop culture, something that applies to everything, and we just basically dissect it. And today's read is from The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F***. If you're reading along with us, it's in chapter 2, page 33, and it's about addiction. So we're going to give you the read, then we're going to discuss the who, what, where, when, and why does this even matter. So here's the scripture from the pastor here. Highs also generate addiction. The more you rely on them to feel better about your underlying problems, the more you will seek them out.
Yeah.
In this sense, almost anything can become addictive depending on the motivation behind using it. We all have our chosen methods to numb the pain of our problems, and in moderate doses, there is nothing wrong with this. But the longer we avoid and the longer we numb, the more painful it will be when we finally do confront our issues.
Don't let it fester.
Yeah.
Word from the pastor.
Saying that to myself.
Right.
Saying that to myself, pastor.
Word from the pastor was good this week. The sermon was fantastic.
Short, sweet, to the point.
Mr. Manson always hits it, with the best wording possible. And let's just start off with real quick. Let's start off with the who of this and why it's important. I think that basically applies to, everybody. Can you find me oh, sweet. Thank you. The who is basically, everybody in this particular
it's
scenario.
My phone, so like the one tap.
I don't use Androids. Like this is Mars to me. I don't get this. But the who, I feel like this applies to everybody because I don't think anybody on this earth is going to be free of addictions or free of highs. Like that's kind of how it goes.
That's how the human brain works.
Yeah.
High lows. High lows are
going
to be part of the problem. So like, trust me, that the message that we're talking about right now applies to everybody. The what is the addiction. There's nothing wrong with having a high. There's nothing wrong with doing something that gives you a high. But if it does intrude on other aspects of your life, or if it, does not allow you to feel like you were, feeling fulfilled, I would say
control.
That in control. Yeah, that's a good one. I'd say that is an addiction. I'd say that's something that you kind of have to be aware of if you want to go anywhere in life, for sure. The where, let's see. I think that's an interesting one because like that kind of that falls into the what.
It depends on the addiction too, because when where turns into like work, or you're at the gym, or you're at home all the time. Like a lot of my stuff is focused at home because the idea that I enjoy being able to be at home and not worrying about the outside world and just being able to do the things that I need to do is nice. So that feeling of security and safety that can be fine.
Yeah.
But depending on the actions that you want to do to obtain those feelings and the lack of other actions, those become problems.
I'll also say in contrast, when the thing you're addicted to is something you need, as someone who was addicted to food, someone who at 20 years old, I weighed 370 pounds because I had a really unhealthy connection with food. I ate all of the time for every emotion, and was incredibly lucky to have a surgery that helped me change everything about how I ate. And 11 years later, I've managed to keep my weight off, and I still have those cravings. I still have the same brain. I still want to eat a gallon of ice cream, but if I eat too much, now I have something that helps stop me.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the self-control not to put the food in my mouth.
I feel that. For me, the where comes into play because I have avoidancy issues. If there are things that, you know, really channel emotions that I don't want to deal with in the moment, my avoidancy issues can kick in and immediately shift me into, no, we're just gonna, you know, do everything but deal with the thing that's hurting. Everything but make a smoothie,
just not be there.
Fortnite, drink a little bit, smoke a little bit, talk
Stare
to
at a wall.
friend.
Why not?
Stare at a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the avoidancy, the things that I have to fight on a daily basis are making sure my avoidancy issues are in check. And the only way for me to do that is to consistently be uncomfortable. Best way to be uncomfortable is to be with a person that challenges you at every freaking way that they possibly can.
Stop calling me out, Dev.
No, I feel you. It's me too. I'm going through with us. I'm going through with us. Promise. The where is hard because the where can get you, and it doesn't matter where you're at. Like if you're out or inside, if you're asleep or if you're just fresh waking up, like it's rough.
The best is when you wake up, like as soon as your brain switches from asleep to awake before you even open your eyes, and all the anxiety starts.
Oh my God, we were just talking about this.
It's the best.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yes.
It's the best.
I love it.
Before you're even fully awake, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's all the things I was worried about yesterday."
See me when I
Why
woke
does
up
it
an
still
hour
here?
and a half before my alarm this morning and just laid there thinking that one.
That's why I slept as long as I did. Actually, was that this morning? Was that I was just like, you know what? No, I'm still asleep.
Yep, can't
It's
get
my
me yet.
day off.
Can't get me yet.
Can't get me yet. Nope.
You did do that.
Nope. All the snooze.
Yeah.
I think we also answered the when this matters with the where, because like right when you realize, you know, you're being avoidant, or right when you realize you're doing something that is generating an addiction that's not good for you, that's the time where you got to pay attention, be active, check yourself, check your, you know, your ego, all that stuff. So I think the when, the where, both of those got answered in that. So we'll move on to the very last one, going in this episode on the why. Why does this matter? I mean,
why?
Like, why?
Dear God.
Technically, I mean, like for somebody who doesn't really, you know, care, or for somebody that's not really necessarily interested in moving on to the next step in life, or somebody that doesn't, you know, practice empathy and doesn't care about how they affect people, none of this stuff is really going to matter. But I know y'all are not listening to this podcast right now. So if you care about somebody, if you're practicing empathy, if you care about moving on to that next step, if you care about your goals, if you care about how to get there, you got to know where your addictions are. You got to know how they're going to come into play.
Yeah.
And
check yourself before you wreck everybody else.
Exactly. Exactly. That's where the empathy comes in, because we have a lot of people that don't check themselves and they run rampant. They, you know, infect just malicious, toxic energies on a lot of people that don't necessarily deserve it, and they don't check their addictions. Don't be one of those people.
Yeah.
And you can really end up hurting the people that you love the most.
Yeah. This is it's a much better life. You will have more, I'm gonna be honest, you will have more sex, you will have more meaningful relationships, you will have the relationships that you want, you'll do the things that you want to do, and you'll feel the things that you want to feel if you keep checking yourself. So that's why it matters.
Yeah.
Because the only way to make things happen is for you to do them.
Yeah.
And the other side of that coin is that that's the same thing for everybody else.
Yeah.
So everybody else that wants to live their life, like, you have to acknowledge those moments when people don't want to live the life the way that you want yourself, or you may want them to be living their life.
Yeah.
And so, like, you have to be willing to acknowledge that. And that's the basis of empathy, is like, oh, you do it different than me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
realizing that self-reflection is the thing that separates a child and adult. That
Yep.
being able to reflect on
Mhm.
yourself, learn and grow from your actions is what separates the maturity of a child versus the maturity of an adult. And an
Mhm.
adult that makes excuses for themselves at any situation, that never learned how to self-reflect,
Yeah.
Mhm.
never actually grew up. They
Which, like, that is-
stayed in that childhood belief that they were always right.
Yeah, and that was like it's so sad that has to be something that's taught. Like being able to self-reflect is something that needs to be taught. It's not something that's inherent to humanity. And like if you do not have that modeled for you well, it is so hard to like get out of that quote unquote addiction of like not feeling like you, not necessarily like you have to take responsibility, but like that it matters. You know what I mean? Like that
And that is your fault.
yeah.
That is its own addiction of
Yeah.
trying to be aware of what people aren't doing
Yeah.
and how you can do things better.
Mm-hmm.
But also that's where persecution has come from the entirety of human
Right.
existence.
Yeah.
Also that. Yeah.
Jesus! He was killed because he was like, yeah, we could do this like better. And we could
Yeah.
like care about each other and be able
Don't do that. Don't do that.
And the irony of people turning around and killing in his name it's just
Also, yeah.
dumbfounding.
Yeah.
Humanity, yeah.
We are going to go ahead and end the episode on that. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
Swizzard, thank you for the fantastic interview. Thank you for
I hope it helps. I hope somebody hears it and it's like, oh, okay, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Or
yeah.
it's not as like
You just
insanely
have to
scary as
really
it sounds
enjoy
like,
it and want
Feels
to
like.
get better at it and put in the time and effort.
which is anything.
Yeah.
Just
Which
like
is
any-
anything you love to do, which I wish somebody had been able to teach me that, or I've been able to learn it for myself at a younger age.
Yeah.
Was like how to have that feeling.
Exactly.
I
if
also
you
wish
are-
certain communities invested in the arts more, but that's another thing.
Mhm.
That's another episode. If you are listening to us on or checking us out on YouTube and you learned something or you laughed or you got a trinket of information from this you're going to use from the future, go ahead and comment below what that is. Go ahead and like and subscribe so you're
comment,
notified every single
subscribe.
time
Great.
we
The buttons.
drop videos.
They're down here.
And if you are doing, if you are
That way.
if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Google, or Spotify,
Like, subscribe.
go ahead and leave a comment, leave a review on this specific episode. And if you feel like we have earned 5 stars, we would love 5 stars. It would really boost our performance as we are, trying to get this podcast off the road. Other than that, thank you guys.
And if you didn't like it, send it to your enemies.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe they'll like us.
Right.
Peace.
Bye,
Peace out,
guys. Thank
guys.
you.
Bye.